There was always a question I had, was that why did Gypsy use a fishing fillet knife and pick one that didn't have a brand on it, steal it from Walmart, and then give it to Nick? Watch right here when she gets, she's yawning, she's tired, she's fidgeting because of her addiction. She's starting to rock, but then she smiles big, really creepy. All of a sudden, what is she smiling at? What is that big, cheesy smile all about? Well, she's reaching for it. It's her fish pillow. Now, it's shiny, has beautiful fins. I thought, okay, maybe she's bored. She's fidgeting. Maybe she's trying to distract herself. But then she's playing with it. Reliving this thing, swimming, swimming, swimming. The way she is looking at it, I thought, okay, what are the chances that, look at this, such odd behavior. Now, I gave her the benefit of the doubt that maybe her mom gave her this. But the smile that she gave that thing when she picked it up was not a smile of relief or missing her mom. It was a smile of achievement. And then her body language here. Body language, when you treasure something and where you have someone who passes in your family, you hold it to your heart where your chest is. That's the body language you'd see, the human behavior. Someone who loves someone, but she is laying on it with her head and her body for her comfort, serving her, making her comfortable, serving her purpose. And that shows Gypsy's character. If her mom did get this when they went to Cape Cod a few weeks before they passed and they went to the Hamptons and went whale watching, that's when Gypsy says she got this pillow, stuffed animal thing. Why would you have the body language of laying on it? Well, that's like a dominating stance or like a very self-serving stance, like serve me. This isn't how you would treat it if you actually cared about the person who passed. So now we'll see that people come in the room and they speak with her. They ask her various things and pay attention to her response. And I'll show you why in just a moment.
Gypsy Rose, when you came up here, did you bring the package and clothing with you?
I did. I brought a suitcase and I brought a backpack.
Was there any medications or anything in the suitcase or the backpack?
He's asking her this because they found Dee Dee's pain pills in her bag, and they need an explanation. They're being pretty nice about it, though.
There was some pain pills.
Due to HIPAA privacy, they have muted this.
I just took my medicine like I was supposed to. Water would be nice.
Okay, so why don't you step on out here? We'll get you some water.
Muted again for HIPAA reasons.
Okay, well, we'll just pass it on to the medical staff. So.
Up to this point, cops have come in multiple times, and not once has Gypsy showed any concern for Nick. And now Nick is so worried that he has asked the lieutenant to come talk to Gypsy and check on her.
Hello, Gypsy. Hi, I'm Lieutenant Ohm. I brought Nick in, and Nick was just he was concerned about you, so I want to check to make sure you're fine. Looks like you're doing good.
Is he alright?
And he is fine as well. He was very concerned about you, and he wanted to make sure you knew that.
Now, originally, I had only watched the shorter footage, which is a few hours long, and not the entire 12 hours of her being there while they were interrogated. And now I've watched it over a couple times. I found this clip, and now I know why this stood out to me. So after Nick checks on Gypsy, this lieutenant is really friendly, and he asks Gypsy how she's liking the room. Now, we reveal the dark side of Gypsy Rose Blanchard as she proceeds to call this room a fishing room.
Yeah, you got the nice couch. You got the nice room. Give you the nice room.
Nice fishy room.
Give you the nice room.
Nice fishy room.
Give you the nice room.
Nice fishy room.
This, there it is. It doubles as a pillow, rather nice.
This stuffed animal fish is very fancy. It has fins that when you move it look like it's really swimming, and it does double as a pillow. And Cape Cod was a trip that Gypsy and her mom went on a few weeks before this unaliving. Gyps planned this for 2 years. She knew that she was going to do this to her mom, and she still went on the whale sightseeing trip. Had her mom spend all that money. And they went and watched all those whales, and her mom bought her this pillow that's a stuffed animal. And she tells the lieutenant, it's a fishing room. Well, at first, this appears playful. I thought so as well. Until I started thinking, a fishing fillet was given to Nick. Gypsy intentionally stole a fishing fillet and gave it to Nick. Why? Why a fishing fillet? It is literally the worst thing that you could use for something of this nature. And then I realized that the King James Version, there's a verse about fishing. And this is Mark 1:16. I did have to Google this. But when I realized that it's 1:16, I realized, okay, 1 plus 16 is 17. But actually, it's even more obvious, because if you look at this verse, there's a footnote, and it's the number 17 right there. You'll see little numbers, 17, 18, 19, 20. But this 17 is the significant part, okay? Look at the 17. It says, and Jesus said to them, follow me, and I will have you become fishers of people. Immediately they left their nets and followed him. And going on a little further, he saw James and then his brother John. Now we know that name is important to her. So now let's move on and imagine that Dee is Christian. She put Gypsy through Catholic school. Many small businesses claim that Dee would visit them and say prayers with them. Like if they were having a rough time financially or with anything, a hard day, Dee would come and she would pray with them. And she had a prayer scarf that she would wear. Here's what's odd. Christians use the fish symbol to represent the ideology, the belief, and the religion. Because of this verse, because of Mark 1:16, with this little footnote number 17, this phrase, and Jesus said to them, follow me, and I will have you become fishers of people or fishers of men. I think that she used this version, fishers of people, and her mom was Christian. Now, what better revenge? If your mom is a devout Christian, what better revenge than to get a Christian to unalive her? What better revenge than to use the fishing symbol that Christians cherish so deeply and many of them put on their cars? I see many, many cars, in my life where there's been a fish symbol, and that symbolizes Christianity. So Dee was a devout Christian, in my opinion, but Gypsy wasn't. I think Gypsy was into Harry Potter and had a lot of witchcraft books, and her mom allowed her a lot of freedom because she was an adult, but they had differing opinions. And what better revenge than to get a Christian? So this is why Gypsy goes on a Christian website, in my opinion. This is why. And she then uses a fishing fillet knife. She steals it from Walmart. She picks one that does not have a brand on it so that it would be difficult for people to identify as a fishing knife. I'm good at research. And guys, I found this, pretty quick. It's a fishing fillet sold at Walmart.com, but also sold on Etsy. It's also sold on eBay, I believe. And it was like $11 to $15. It's not much. But it's the size of like a butter knife. But it has like a handle on it. And the handle is quite wide. So the handle is like twice as wide as the blade. I bought one, and I had it mailed to me quite a while ago. And when I realized that Dee Dee's autopsy, the wounds were 7 inches deep, and I actually took this out eventually and like measured it, I was like, no way. Okay, this blade, as you can see here, is only 6.5 inches total before you get to the handle. And you can't really push it past a certain point because it's like impossible. So the deepest this could even go is 6 inches and like a quarter. It is impossible to make a 7-inch wound with this. Impossible. Because the handle, you can't push, you know what I mean? The handle would not, it would just not. So your mom's a devout Christian. There's a prayer scarf laid under her body, drenched, stained, every inch of it stained. There's not a single dry spot on that prayer scarf. It was laid under Dee's body. There's a fishing fillet used. There's a fishing pillow that she takes with her to cops, to the interrogation room. This was actually something she brought with her. When a lieutenant comes in, she calls it the fishing room. The fishing room. Now, this gets even more confirmed because Gypsy texted Nick I don't know the exact amount of time. I think it was 1 week or 2 weeks. It was less than 3 weeks before the murder. And he received a text from her saying that she had spoken to his cousin and that they wanted to go fishing. She texted Nick and said, your cousin wants to go fishing. Now, I don't think Nick's cousin wanted to go fishing. I think that Gyp was referring to this fishing fillet and the fishing pillow that she had just received, because that was around 3 weeks before Dee passed, 3 or 2 weeks. They had gone to Disney and also gone to Cape Cod. And because everything has been erased, I cannot find the exact dates for the Cape Cod trip. But they did it like within the same week of the other one. They went to Cape Cod, went to the Hamptons, and Dee got her this fish pillow. Now, putting all that together, it almost seems as if the number 17 is because of Mark 1:16 and then the 17 footnote that says, I'll make you fishers of people. What better way to hurt Dee than to take the thing that means the most to her, which may have been her religion, and take off her head and with the prayer scarf, put that underneath her. I'm going to cry right now, so sad. And my goodness. And then basically take a fishing pillow and make sure Nick has a fishing fillet. And then after all that, a lieutenant walks in and you have the balls to call the room the fishing room.
Fishing room.
This,
Fishing room.
this,
Fishing room.
this.
Rod has been fishing with Gypsy, and I've seen photos of that and video of that in an episode. Guys, do you think Rod's next? Many of us have a theory that Gypsy has not forgiven her dad of raising a different family. You can see that by the fact that Dee had a cut on her wedding ring finger, very specifically. And what did she have planned for Rod now that she's in a rocking chair, hanging out by a shed with Rod? She is going fishing with Rod. I don't know, guys. Is he even... I know he thinks, oh, she loves me, we're bonding. But no offense, that's what Dee thought.